Our next speaker has the very same message, but he says it so much better than I do. I hope you're holding on to your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor to welcome to this rally of the Jefferson Area Tea Party, Americans for Prosperity, and all of you, Bishop E.W. Jackson.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. We just drove 3 hours to get here because we heard there were some people who wanted to gather together to tell Charlottesville and tell Virginia, Obama may be over there, but he's soon going to be back to Chicago. In fact, I have to tell you folks, I am absolutely amazed that President Barack Obama would have the unmitigated gall to show up in Charlottesville. Because here we stand in the shadow of Thomas Jefferson and James Madison. Now, Barack Obama, it's true, was elected president, but that's where his similarity to Madison and Jefferson end. Madison and Jefferson believed in our Constitution. Madison and Jefferson believed in our country. Madison and Jefferson believed in freedom. Barack Obama doesn't believe in any of those, and on November 6th, we're going to elect a president who does. Folks, we have on our hands, I hope for only a few more months, the most lawless administration that this nation has ever seen. Now, yes, we have had scandals in the presidency, and we've had problems, and we've had one president resign. So we understand that nobody is perfect. But we have never had a president who systematically disregards our Constitution, ignores our laws, and sets himself up as some sort of king or dictator. This is the first time. James Madison said in Federalist Paper 47, anytime any leader takes to himself the powers of the executive, the legislative, and the judicial branch, that leader is the very definition of tyranny. Well, my friends, we are looking at it right now. The president we have must be making James Madison turn over in his grave, because Barack Obama has assumed to himself all of those powers. When the legislature, the Congress of the United States, does not do what he wants them to do, he says, well, we can't wait. So he can't get cap and trade. He, by executive fiat, uses the EPA to implement a cap and trade policy. So he can't get the DREAM Act. So by executive fiat, he implements a policy that in effect creates, by executive fiat, the DREAM Act. He doesn't like the way our immigration laws are being enforced. By executive fiat, he determines that they simply will not be enforced, that we will ignore the law, and in fact, this is a new one in history. ICE agents are actually being suspended, being punished for enforcing the law and upholding their oath. Now, my friends, I don't know what Barack Obama was taught during his invisible days at Columbia. And I don't know what he learned about the Constitution during his radical days at Harvard. But we've got news for him. There's a little thing in our Constitution that our founding fathers gave us called separation of powers. It means that the legislature and the executive and the judicial branches have separate powers so that they may check and balance one another. He doesn't seem to understand that. So I am here to remind him today that all of that power was delegated by we the people, and we the people are about to fire him. You know, we Virginians have a motto, and the motto is Sic Semper Tyrannis. Now, I don't know whether Barack Obama knows Latin. He said he wants to be a superhero who can speak any language. I just wish he would read ours. But let's translate Sic Semper Tyrannis for him. Maybe somebody can take this and make sure he gets it. Mr. President, Sic Semper Tyrannis means this: you're fired. You are fired. And on November 6th, we're going to serve him his notice. Folks, I don't care where he was born. I don't care where he came from. I just know that in January of 2013, I want him to go back to wherever he chooses to go and to vacate the White House. This administration has denigrated and disregarded our Constitution. They have disrespected our Judeo-Christian values. At the Democrat National Convention on Friday, they will have 2 hours of Juma prayer. Prayer by Muslims. Nothing against the Muslims. But we are told by good authority that the people leading that prayer are radical Islamists. Now, we have a Judeo-Christian country based on Judeo-Christian values. We believe that everybody is free to worship as they see fit, and we celebrate that. But you are not free to use any religion or any philosophy to try to destroy our country or undermine our Constitution or change us from the constitutional republic that we are. Yet, folks, this administration says we don't want prayer by Father Cardinal Timothy Dolan. We don't want prayer by Franklin Graham, but we do want prayer by radical Islamists. It is time to let them know, while we respect everyone's right to freedom of religion, we were birthed a Judeo-Christian nation, we are a Judeo-Christian nation, and we will remain a Judeo-Christian nation long after Barack Obama is gone. Now, folks, some of you know that on September 10th at the National Press Club, we're holding a press conference. The theme is Exodus Now. We are calling every Christian, every Jew, every believer, every person who stands in faith, who follows the traditions of our founding fathers, to come